Okay, Shawn Showtime Party, the voice of reason, man. Just tell us what you saw out there in the weigh-ins. Shawn Garcia missed weight by 3 pounds, I think. I think Jorge Masvidal might have missed weight, or he had to strip down to make weight. But just overall, how did the guys look heading into tomorrow?
Everybody looked good, man. I really like the energy around here, around this card. And I'm excited about tomorrow night. I get a chance to commentate with Mauro. Haven't been on the mic around the ring with Mauro yet, so I'm excited about that. But overall, man, I think tomorrow night's gonna be a really good night.
Yeah. You want to give predictions as to how you think that at least?
I really don't want to give no predictions, man. I hate doing the prediction thing anyway, man. This is boxing, and as much as we try to create this forecast, sometimes we just don't know. And a lot of times when you got a lot of either inexperienced guys, or you got guys that are from the MMA world, you truly don't know how that's gonna look. So, but I think tomorrow's gonna be the energy in the arena tomorrow. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and speaking of unpredictable, man, of course, Ryan Garcia, he had one hell of a 4th of July, man. Just your thoughts on what you saw, man. If you know him at all, and just how keep things playing. He just kept tweeting away, man. What are your thoughts just on?
It was like, man, I watched it. I shout out to ProBox TV. We talked about it a little bit, and right before we started to record, I wanted to take a look at it just to see what it was, and complete opposite of what I thought it was, man. And it was really, it seemed. I'm not even gonna say it seemed. It was derogatory, and I didn't think it going into it. I didn't think it was gonna be what it was, All that being said, man, it's really time. It's time for him to slow down and take a step back. I'll go out on a limb and say this as well. I got a feeling, knowing how he got where he's gotten to this point, outside of the ring, there could be some fear in him pausing that. He knows people want to see you posting. People want to see you live. People want to see you in action. And when you're MIA, a lot of times, I really don't think it's going to be this way in his case, but a lot of times people will move on and they will forget about you. He's got to drop it. He's got to let all that go, and he's got to focus on himself, focus on his health, focus on his daily life, and strengthen all of it. I hate to even sound like I'm judging him, because we all have things that we can improve on. But the difference is, not very many of us are exposing these things. I think he's really exposed himself, and it made me sad when I watched and heard what I saw, and just hate to see anybody.
I'm sure it offended you as well over making you sad.
It didn't offend me. It made me sad, and I think it didn't offend me because I know him. I don't know him that well, but I know like the heart that's inside of him, and so it saddened me to see him not display the good, wholesome kid that he was all the way up until a year ago.
Yeah. He apologized on Twitter. Do you accept his apology personally and overall? That's obviously, I don't know how you see that, but he's also gonna check in rehab. But
I saw that too. Check into the rehab, and it's hard. I've never done rehab, but I've done counseling. I've been in and out of counseling. I'm like, I just don't, I don't feel like it today. It's hard. You know what I mean? Those things are hard, but when you need help, it's best that you stop what you can stop. You put a pause on what you can put a pause on, and things that have to continue to move, you put people in position to make sure that those things move. You put the right things in position so that they can continue on. And again, like I know that firsthand, and I'm trying to be vulnerable right now. Primarily for him, primarily for anybody who's around him. They got to understand that now is the time to be vulnerable. Now is the time to be honest. And now's the time to it's hard, but you gotta, the faith that I know he has to lean on that faith. And I'll expose myself even more. It's hard, man. When you know things are one way, you just, whatever it is, and there's this fear that we all have, you know what I mean? I always say boxing, the thing that makes boxing so great, it's the only sport where you have to ignore being a human. The thing we're born with, and we're born with a lot of different emotions and thought processes and things like that, but self-preservation, that's the number one thing we have to ignore as humans. We have to get in the ring, punch, get punched, move, the list goes on. But we have to always ignore that self-preservation. Now it's time for him to learn how to stop being a fighter, stop being a superhero, that's how we all think, and become normal, become a human, be vulnerable, and get the help that I think most of us can see he needs. It's not a bad thing to need help. I think a lot of people may think I got my shit right. I need help. You know what I mean? Like, we all need help. I tell people all the time, like, everybody needs counseling. Everybody needs some sort of outlet. And that outlet, a lot of times, just speaking it out loud, you get the answers. Whether you believe in God, you get the answers from God. The Spirit, you get the answers from the Spirit. And sometimes that person that's across from you can give you an answer that God didn't give you, or that the Spirit didn't reveal to you.
Shawn, appreciate the time like always, man. Thank you.